so one of the things that we can do is we have these shapes, and I'm going to make a heart really quick. I'll just come in like that. All right. We'll grab this guy. Let's align these two. We'll flip them. Oops. Flip the whole thing. There we go. Let's put those together. Top one like this. So join. Okay. And it doesn't actually matter what color these are because of what we're about to do.
Okay.
So I'm going to take this, copy, come over here, and I'm going to paste it. Paste it as a smart object. Okay, so now we have our smart object like this. Okay, so paste that in as a smart object, make it whatever size you want. Once it's a smart object, we can double click on it, and it'll actually open it up in its own little Illustrator file. So any changes we make will come over here like that. Then we can do this. And same thing here. Copy, come over to Photoshop, paste, smart object, okay. Okay, now the cool thing about these is that we can use them to put textures on. And so if I go like this, let's just go, that'll be fine. Okay, so we'll deal with one at a time. So go and photograph a sweater or something, right? So I'm just gonna look up like crochet, maybe crochet textures. You can shoot your own. But let's say that I have the rights to this one, right? So I wouldn't just steal it, but let's say I created this myself. So now I can come in and I can put this like this. Okay, and then if I hold Alt, I can click and it'll map that onto that shape.
Okay.
Right, and so now I can move this around, I can stretch it, I can resize it, but it'll stay contained as if it's been masked. I can even make copies of it, and those copies can be part of that shape. And so I can kind of just come in here like this, you know, maybe grab both of them. Let's see if we can get it to cover the whole thing. Not quite, so we'll just kind of stretch or whatever. Okay, then I can come in and I can say, let's make a new layer. And I'm going to turn this layer to multiply. I'll turn the opacity down. We'll probably adjust that in a little bit. But I can just come in with a brush. So I'm going to hit B, right click. I want a soft round, okay? And so I'm just going to come in with black. That is not soft. There we go. Turn my hardness down to 0. And I can come in and I'm just kind of like dusting the edge here. And so you can kind of give this some shape, or instead of having this be at 0, this could be up like this. Now let's just start over. So we can bring this up to 100. And then we'll take our brush and we'll bring our opacity of our brush down. And then you can kind of build it up over time. So we can kind of just do some of this action, some of that, and then it'll get darker as we kind of build it up. Something along those lines. Okay, and we can do the same thing with the hearts. Let's turn our heart on. We will down a little bit. And for the heart, maybe you go and you photograph a quilted hop hat or something. So I'm going to look up quilted texture. Yeah, so that's a little bit better, something like that. Okay, obviously you would shoot this yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Paste that in, put it over the top of this guy. Let's delete this part. And now, in theory, you might find, you know, that you could make it repeat or whatever, right? And so, see if you can do that. It's going to be a little hard. But if you shoot your own, you can shoot it big enough or something along those lines. Anyway. Okay, so we can kind of combine all those. Command E, they're all on now. Command T, make it bigger. And then again, Alt click. And then let's also add, on top of this, let's add a solid color layer adjustment. And so I'm going to choose a color that'll go with our kind of pink nicely. So we'll kind of do this teal. Okay, I'm going to put that on top of that as well, and then we'll try mixing it. Okay, multiply looks like that. Screen doesn't do what I want it to do. Overlay doesn't do what I want it to do. So we go with multiply. And we can continue to come in and kind of adjust this more and more if we want. You know, like this way. And then maybe I can come in and I'll do another one. So I'm just going to make a copy of this, Command J. Alt click. Double click here. Let's just darken this up a lot, like that. Okay, now in the mask, I can come in and I can grab my gradient tool. Okay, and I'm going to go black because I want to just have like a vignette. So I'm just going to start kind of building up this shape. And if you go too far, then you can kind of use that to kind of bring it back a little bit. And then if you want to do that again, Command J again, and you can click this, then we'll double click this, let's go super dark, like that. Then maybe we drop the opacity on this. Then we can just pull this out even more. With some white, so it just kind of gives us around the edges. Like that. All right, so then you can kind of continue to do that. Now, if you ever want to come in and say, oh, I don't like how this stomach looks, you can just double click on your smart object. Okay, it'll open it up in Illustrator because you created it in Illustrator, and we can say, I want this to be like this, and to come out like that, and then this guy comes out like this, and then when we press save and jump back over to Photoshop, it makes those changes for us. Okay, so that's one kind of style. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that you could do is you can keep the textures, lose the lose this, and let's add like another color, and then let's just what would be a good color here? Like a nice pale yellow, maybe some orange in it. Okay, I have to throw that all the way at the bottom. The other thing that you can do is you can come in and you can try to do some kind of drop shadow. But I like to make my own drop shadow. And so let's move all these things together. There we go. So like if this is on top of these guys, Then I can take this vector smart object. I can make a copy of it. What did I just do? Why isn't it letting me undo? Undo duplicate later. There we go. Okay, so let's just make a copy of that. Perfect. Okay, now this guy, I can move him over. You know, I can kind of match them up like this. And then I can just grab by command clicking on this, and I can hide that, and then I can come in and go solid color. Let's make it black. Okay, and then you can also come in and like, let's grab this, and you can come in and just like delete everything that isn't that, which would be like this. Okay, and then we can try that again. We'll go command click. And we'll move this slightly, so let's just move this up so it's a little bit closer. Okay, then you can come in and you can start adjusting these. So we'll say, let's go multiply. Let's drop our opacity down. And you start to get this, you start to get kind of more of like a paper cutout situation. You can do the same thing with the stomach. I'll just do it really fast. We'll grab this, command click on that, command click, there we go. And I'll just make a new one a little easier, solid color, black. Okay, we'll bring this underneath it. And already, because we have that selected, grabs that for us. I'm just going to move this over. Then I can come in and I can say, that's at 38, multiply. So I'll go 38, multiply. I can grab both of those if I want and go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And you can convert it to a smart object or rasterize it. So I'm just going to convert it to a smart object. And then you can come in and you can kind of fuzz that as much as or as little as you want. And so you kind of get the idea. And then I can come in and I'm going to say, you know, I'm going to add a whatever. I'm going to add another thing. So let's, what else would be? I mean, we can just do more like wool. Texture. Okay, and do something like this. Paste. And then you probably want to get one that's big enough for your illustration, so that it's not super pixelated. Take this and colorize it so that it's not like a gray. Kind of wash it out so it's not super high contrast. And just because this is bugging me, let's also run that same Gaussian blur on it. So just stuff like that, right? And you can do even a combination of these if you wanted, you know, or whatever. And so kind of however you want to do it is fine, but just kind of stuff like this will dress it up, you know. And then even on top of this, you could come in and you could add, you know, like you could add interesting little textures and fabrics and whatever else. So we could take this, put this on the top of everything. Let's try overlay. There we go. Turn this way down. Just kind of just like a little bit. You know, maybe even some stained paper. Okay, and so you can make these type of textures by just spilling things on paper and then photographing it later.